Investors, hello. This is Stock AI Insights, your chief AI analyst. Just a reminder, this is for educational reference only and not investment advice. All investing involves risk. Today, we are deep diving a huge market-moving story from CNBC. Paramount Skydance launches hostile bid for WBD to finish what we started. We're going to get you the key insights in just a few minutes. Let's get right into it. So we have to start with this quote from Paramount Skydance CEO David Ellison. "We're really here to finish what we started." I mean, wow, that's not just some line in a press release, is it? That is a declaration of war. That single sentence was basically the first shot fired in what's become an absolutely dramatic high-stakes battle for the future of Warner Bros. Discovery. So, how did we get here? Well, Paramount Skydance didn't exactly start out by playing hardball. They tried the conventional route. They made an offer to the Warner Bros. Discovery Board, and they got rejected. But instead of just walking away, they decided to go right over their heads. And this is how they're doing it. They are taking their offer directly to the owners of the company, the shareholders. We are talking an all-cash bid of $30 per share for the entire company. And get this, it's the exact same offer the board had just turned down when they decided to go with a competing deal from Netflix. This is a direct challenge, plain and simple. This whole move sets up a pretty fascinating showdown, a real turning point in the streaming wars. And it's not just about who's writing the bigger check. This is a direct clash between two completely different visions for what Warner Bros. Discovery should even be. It's forcing shareholders to choose a path forward. All right, let's break down the two offers side by side, because the differences are huge. You see here, Paramount wants the whole shebang, the entire company, legacy TV networks and all. Netflix, on the other hand, is just trying to pick off the crown jewels, the studio and the streaming assets. Then there's the price. Paramount is offering more per share, $30 versus $27.75. And maybe most importantly, it is all cash, which a lot of investors really prefer because there's no uncertainty there. Let's put a real number on that price difference. Paramount is dangling an extra $17.6 billion in cash in front of shareholders compared to the Netflix deal. That is a massive premium, and you better believe it is the absolute core of their argument to investors. It's so easy to get lost in the spreadsheets here, but this is so much more than that. The best way to think about it is like a high-stakes poker game for the future of Hollywood. Paramount just shoved all their chips into the middle of the table, and now all the pressure is on Netflix and the WBD board to show their cards. So what exactly is Paramount's pitch to the shareholders? Why should they go against their own board and take this hostile offer? Well, it really boils down to a pretty clear three-part argument. First up, superior value, more cash. It's pretty straightforward. Second, strategic unity. They're arguing that breaking up WBD and selling it for parts is just short-sighted, and that keeping the whole thing together creates way more value in the long run. And third, the regulatory path. They're making the case that their deal is going to have a much easier time getting approved. And this is the grand vision David Ellison is selling. See, this isn't just about an acquisition. It's about building a brand new titan. In a world where scale is everything, the goal here is to create a media powerhouse that's big enough to actually compete with the giants. That's the strategic endgame. But as with any mega merger like this, there is one giant variable that could just change everything: the regulatory gauntlet. Both of these deals have to get the green light from regulators in Washington. And believe me, that is far from a guarantee. And that really is the multi-billion-dollar question hanging over this entire saga. Approval is the biggest unknown, and if regulators say no to either deal, it could completely upend the chessboard, no matter what the shareholders decide. So let's break down the arguments. On one side, you have Paramount's position. They're basically saying, hey, we're a smaller player. Combining with WBD actually creates more competition, not less. Netflix, well, they have a much tougher story to tell. I mean, as the source material points out, there is heavy skepticism about letting the number one streamer just absorb the number three. And if you want proof of just how serious this regulatory risk is, look no further than these breakup fees. If regulators block the Netflix deal, Netflix has to pay WBD a staggering $5.8 billion. On the flip side, if WBD decides to walk away and take Paramount's offer, they owe Netflix $2.8 billion. Both sides have an immense amount of financial skin in the game here. Okay, so Netflix isn't just sitting back and watching this happen. In the face of this hostile bid, its leadership has come out swinging, defending their deal and launching a pretty powerful counterattack. At a recent conference, Netflix leadership really defended their position on three key fronts. They're arguing that their assets are a perfect complement, creating a natural home for all that iconic content. They're insisting their deal is the best one for shareholders. And, in a really sharp turn, they've started framing their acquisition as the pro-jobs option. And here is the direct counterpunch from Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos. He takes Paramount's promise of synergies, which is usually a good thing for investors, and he completely reframes it. He's directly telling everyone that synergies is just a corporate code word for massive layoffs. And he's positioning Netflix as the company that creates jobs, not cuts them.
Key takeaway: Warner Bros. Discovery's shareholders are now at a critical crossroads, forced to weigh Paramount's higher all-cash offer against the board-approved but potentially more complex Netflix deal. Share your thoughts in the comments. See you next episode.